Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let Loose Dog Talk.
What's
Today we
going
got
on?
Martin from Fuerzas American Bulldog special guest.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
And then we got Gabriel,
What's going on?
and then we got Ernest, Great Hall
You already
Kennels.
know, repping the GHK boy.
Hey, so today we got special guest Martin. Martin breeds American Bulldog, so we have a lot of things in common, and topics that we could kind of, all of us, kind of simulate and agree and disagree on certain things, but definitely I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Martin, so give us a little bit of your background, how you started, and then we'll just get into it.
Okay. Well, I grew up here on the Oregon coast. I always had like farm dogs and half-breed dogs, a few pure dogs when I was a child, all bought from the newspaper, never anything over $150. And then I found the American Bulldog in about 2011, 2012. I got my first pup and I got super motivated uh, to learn more about the breed, just became obsessed. It was in my search for pit bulls, large pit bulls, that I found the American Bulldog.
Okay, nice. And so I know, since I've talked to you multiple times, I know you in the past you say you started with non-color American Bulldogs, right?
Yeah, so when I started, I got my first dogs from JC Picking, DDP American Bulldogs. He lived just a few blocks from me, and he
Okay.
had some pretty nice dogs. And I would get what he had because it was easier for me to have him as support and learn from him. And I learned a lot from him. And he had mainly white dogs, and then he brought some dogs from Washington State from another breeder, and those were full color dogs as far as like red dogs and
Okay.
more brown and with black pigment and stuff like that. So I got some of those later, but it wasn't until a friend gave me the opportunity, and I really had to think about it. If I wanted to make the switch. Back then, there was a lot of trash talking going on. Nothing compared to like now. Now we're good. Now it's like 4 or 5 different people, and half those people I don't like the dogs they have either.
Yeah.
When they're not my style. If they're more standard dogs, I'm breeding for more bully dogs. It's not
Yep.
not the
Yep.
same kind of thing. And I made the jump, and it's definitely never the same again.
Let me ask you something. I know you say you bought dogs from Jason Pickens. Um, was he kind of like your mentor, or it was just you just bought dogs and you were like, all right, cool. He gave me tips here and there, but did he
Yeah,
kind of
he
guide you?
he was my mentor whether he wanted or not, because here I was obsessed with dogs and he was the only one around. So I talked with him most dogs. Sometimes I asked for help, and his wife would come help me and
Oh,
my girlfriend at the time with the dog stuff. One time went over there and helped me kind of set up my whelping box. One time I remember. Um, but yeah, I'd say he was my mentor because I learned a lot from him. Like he didn't teach me everything, but he steered me into the right direction of
okay.
how to do things and the way things needed to be. And then I found out a lot of the smaller stuff on my own.
Do you feel that let's say the first dog you buy off from a breeder and stuff, and let's say you want to get into the breed and you want to move forward, let's say of breeding, do you feel that buying that dog from that breeder should come with maybe like a responsibility to mentoring the new up and coming breeder?
I think a good breeder is always going to give a little more, a little extra. That's just going to be part of it. And plus, when somebody gets excited and they have the the thing where they want to breed and they're interested in breeding, that's when they actually need the help the most. And plus, you could have a repeat customer. So I don't
Yeah.
know, even from a business standpoint, the breeder should want to help you out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff to it, and I've sold dogs to people who started breeding with those dogs for the first time, or they're new to the American Bulldog, and I sell them a breeding pair for the first time. I've been in that position too, and I always try to help. I always try to talk to them.
No, that's good. I do feel, I guess, like myself as a breeder, like and you hit it right on the nail that you have customers, and you might have repeating customers, and but a good breeder always is there for the customer, and even if it's not your customer and it's just somebody that might follow you on social media and kind of looks up to you and stuff, and if they hit you up with questions, I never turn them down, even if they don't buy dogs from me. If they have a question or whatever, I'll answer, because hey, when I started, I was asking questions, same thing, and I had some people that would turn me down, but there were some people that helped out, and that was cool.
Yeah, I think that's important, doing that or being responsible, right? I mean, we owe it to, I think the breed, or like Martin said, like the business standpoint, right? Repeat customers. Some of us have, had like where we still continue to work with people, or maybe, breedings, or setting them up, right? Or a kennel, helping them out. I think it's good for the, community, and like that, everybody got their start from somebody, and they kind of just, the knowledge and stuff. I think it's good for the breed as a whole.
No, definitely, yeah. Um, so Martin, I know you said you got dogs from Jason Pickens, and they were not colored dogs. So what drew you into the colored dog? Was it a dog specifically that you saw that you were like, man, I like this dog and I want to produce something like this?
Yeah, I will give credit to a person, and it was just an impressionable time for me and for the breed.
Okay.
Some years had passed before we had like uh, an impressive colored dog, and that was SB Spencer's American Bulldog Kennel Juice.
Okay.
You know, it was a combination of a dog with some mass, bully, and then the flashy paint job at the end, and some well taken pictures posted enough times. It marketed well that it really caught my attention, and I liked it. That's kind of where I tried to turn, and I even had people who didn't like the color dogs and were against it and thought they didn't belong in the breed make comments like, yeah, that's probably one of the better ones, or that's a nice one,
Mm.
or something like that. And I'm like, okay. And then that kind of like, planted the seed like that's cool. I don't want just any color dog though. Like if I'm going to get something, it better be nice or I don't want it. And I didn't think about it for probably another 2 years after that.
Okay. Did with all the negativity, behind the colored dogs and all this, did it ever cross your mind to be like, man, should I continue breeding for color? Or you're like, you know what, I don't care, screw it. It's my dog, I feed it, I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing.
So the negativity and all that kind of stuff does matter.
Okay.
It does matter because something we have to realize also is we have all these breeders who've been at it since 98, 2005. They started in 2010. A lot of those stop breeding. They might own a few dogs still and have a litter every 5 years or something like that, but they're not the type of people who breed 2 or 3 litters a year consistently for 15 years. There's not very many people like that.
True.
But there are a lot of people coming in. Every year you have people buying a dog and then maybe having a litter or two. And they are impressionable people. So if they hear things, they might not want to go to that way. But as time went on, people didn't shy away from the colored dogs as much, especially if they're nice. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
if
no,
it's a
definitely.
big dog, if it's a nice dog, you don't care if it's half old English bulldog and half American bulldog and half gorilla. Like you don't care. Like if it's a cool dog, it's a cool dog. Like
Yeah.
I'll walk down the street with it. I'll tell people it's a crossbreed. Doesn't matter. So that might have to do with some of some of people being into it, and that died down. The trash talking died down, and then an offer was presented into my lap that was harder to say no than to say yes to. I got my first dog that way.
Oh, okay.
So you say you you were attracted to Chuck Spencer's dog, Juice, correct?
Yes, my
I'm gonna say one of like to me, you have some impressionable dogs, like super like especially when it comes to color. They don't lack a lot at all. Like I see a lot of color dogs too. Your boy Batman, I think is well built. And correct me if I'm wrong, he's a juice grandson, correct?
I didn't catch some of that middle part, man. Sorry.
Yeah, so Juice Batman, he's a juice grandson, correct?
Let me see. Great grandson.
Great grandson? I can see
Yeah.
some resemblance of that genetic really coming off of that. Like you can see that consistency, and I have to applaud that right there. Man. When it comes to color, you don't get a lot, and I think what you did right here, you can see a lot of that juice in this boy.
Yeah, that boy right there. Yeah, it's I'm not into color, but when
Shit,
I see
I'm
a nice dog, it don't matter if it's blue, black, brown, white. I always give their props. And that
you
boy
know
there,
what?
Batman, it's a nice looking dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Batman
one
is
thing
tight.
about Batman that really has my attention because we talk about consistency, line breeding, and things like that. Because you already know Dennis with me when I'm building, I better keep my eye on Batman. Because you
Yeah.
know he has that concrete blood on the bottom half, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know Batman, so
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, dog.
So also with producing Batman, I got lucky. Like that litter with I ended up getting a a Chuck Spencer's Juice uh, granddaughter. So it was a Juice son bred to an Oranje daughter, and I got a pup from that. She turned out beautiful. She was awesome. I got lucky right there because I was offered that pup. I didn't
Okay.
go pick from the litter. I was offered a specific puppy. They're like, "Hey, do you want this pup?" And I said, "Yes, I'll take it." Uh, I took it. Dog turned out awesome. She had a litter for me. It was 8 puppies. Got mastitis. It was pretty tough. Due to the mastitis, I actually lost some puppies and only ended up with 3 of the 8. I kept the black one because it was black, of course, and then the white one went to Fernando, and I sold the brindle one. Uh, and he turned out awesome. Batman turned out great, but I had 7 litters by the time he was 2 years old with Batman, and there's probably only about 4 pups, four of those dogs that I would keep and feed and be willing to clone those dogs. Not everything was great, so it was a lot of selection.
Mm. So are
Wait,
so in your opinion? Oh, go ahead, Gam. Before it's another
uh,
question for that.
yeah, mine would just kind of follow up. Would you say that's because of the females, or would you say because maybe he wasn't producing, or was it the females they were trying to work a miracle?
I think the females were lacking some of the features that that made Batman so great. Maybe those females had one parent that had those features, and that's what I was going for. Um, but yeah, it's definitely like if you're gonna breed a high caliber dog or an extreme dog or a dog with very very specific features, you got to pair it up with another dog with that, or you're gonna have to do some back breeding for sure to to work it out. It's tough when only one dog carries the features.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot for a stud to
Yeah, that's
to
definitely a
make
lot.
happen. Yeah.
And his coefficient of inbreeding was like 1%. This dude,
Oh
this
yeah.
dude
Oh
was
yeah,
wide open.
So
Yeah,
you need
nothing.
a
yeah, he is.
miracle.
Yeah, that's a mad miracle.
No, but
Look,
that's a good looking dog. So Martin, from both dogs, I know Lucas is his belly brother. Uh, would you say that Lucas is producing much better than Batman?
I think. Let me see.
Or is it just because Luca's been paired with more, I guess, high quality females?
You know, I think it's a slight different situation, and it's hard to compare. But I'm a big fan of Lucas. He produced some really nice offspring, but he hasn't been paired to as many different females compared to Batman.
Okay.
Batman was bred to, I think, 5 different ones. And then Lucas out, I think, only 3. And on some of them, he was bred on size, huge females. Another one, he was bred, he wasn't bred on anything, to be honest. And the owners will tell you that. And then this last time he was bred, it was bred on type.
Okay.
So those
I
are
know
young.
that.
We'll see. But if I had to bet some money, I might go to Lucas. Like I would bet on one of his best breedings compared to Batman's best breedings.
You got a picture of Lucas?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go to Martin's IG, see if he has some in
Yeah,
there.
I'd like to see that because I know what's the other one you have? Carmelo.
Canelo.
Canelo, yeah.
He's
Yeah. He
you
is
have him in house or is he somewhere else?
he is with a friend 45 minutes away. He's a co-own, very big dog, nice head. He has some features that I don't care for, but he's got a lot of outstanding features too that are hard to get.
So when you say features that you don't care for, what is those features that for you that you don't care for?
Yeah, he's got some wrinkles in some places that my other dogs don't have, and some wrinkles over his eyes that kind of not obstruct but change. I'd like for the eyes to be a little cleaner.
Kind of give it that masterpiece look.
Yeah, kind of masterful. It's not like that his eyes sag, his face pulls down or anything. It's just some things that, if you look at it, you could be like, oh, I wonder if he has what's it called, entropion eye, because
Yeah.
I like some nice clean eyes, nice round clean eyes.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. I like wrinkle, but I like wrinkle like more on the muzzle, never like really in the cheek. But you're gonna get it. I like a strong jawline and nice round clean eyes. I like my wrinkle across the nose. Like I agree with you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Martin, did you ever did any back breedings with Batman? Did you get
No.
to that part? No.
I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's how I
I
was.
wish.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like why not?
If you see Sombra,
She's resembles, yeah, I think the most to Batman. I do have a picture of her out here. Let me pull it up before I show Lucas.
I was maybe 3 months. It's one of those cases that if I knew, we would have never known.
Yeah.
But if I knew that I wasn't gonna have Batman, I would have bred Batman to his daughter on his daughter's first heat. I would have done that. But I was.
Yeah, this is a Batman's daughter, right, Martin?
Sombra is, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna do a back breeding with this?
Well, Batman is no longer with us.
Yeah, Batman.
No, when that happened?
He ate a rag, man.
What? These dogs, when they eat any and everything.
He ate a rag. I took him to the vet, and 3 days was too late.
So that's why I always say, man, like that putting on ice is important. Most people don't believe in that. Like you don't never know when your dog's gonna pass, but it's not if, it's always when. So I would always collect my studs as soon as they get to that point where I can collect them and put them on ice. That you got to keep that legacy alive.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know.
Yeah, it sucks, and man, I'm just in a rural area, and everything's so far away. To put a dog on,
Oh, I know.
Put a dog on ice, it's 4 hours one way.
I've been up that mountain.
Progesterone test is an hour 45 minutes one way. The closest vet clinic that does same day.
Yeah, no, it's like there's not even a very close gas station to your house. I didn't be there that one night. I remember driving up there.
Yeah.
Everything closes. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I got to your house like late night on the transport, and I was like, man, I don't think I'm even gonna make it back to a gas station like, coming out this much. Because it was like 10 or 11.
We have one 24-hour gas station.
How far is that one?
7 miles, 14 minutes.
Yeah,
you ain't got none up that mountain.
Yeah,
I was eating baby warm and everything.
I mean, I wanted to live out of town, so I live out of town.
You definitely do.
So this is Lucas. So that's
Lucas.
Batman's belly brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude's tight too.
Yeah,
I like him.
nice dog. Yeah,
I like him. I think he's a really, really nice guy.
Is he on the screen now?
yeah. I don't know. Can you see him?
I can't see him.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
So I can't tell you if you're right or not. So yeah, you know.
No, it's him for sure.
Can you see him now, Martin? Or no? No.
Did you see Batman when we put him up?
No.
Nah, it's gotta be.
You know what? I'm on a cell phone.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why.
Probably that's what. Yeah,
That's probably why.
yeah.
Should have brought the computer, but I was too busy putting tools in the car in case I broke down, and I did. So.
I find a mechanic 3 hours away.
Yeah, his mechanic like 2 days away.
So Martin, because I know we have Lucas up in the screen, and people are gonna ask what's wrong with his eye or what happened to his eye. Can you elaborate on his injury?
So with Puma, when the litter was maybe, they didn't open their eyes yet, so I'm gonna guess maybe like 4 days old.
Okay.
Pantera, the mother, she got mastitis pretty bad, and I remember it was a Friday, and I was calling vets, and it was like 5 o'clock. One vet is like, "Yeah, we can treat her, but it's $1,600 up front before we take her in." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I'll be there in a bit." I didn't go. My bad. So
yeah,
I'm not $1,600 before we see her. So I tried to this might get a little graphic. I tried to express the gland where she had the mastitis and it ruptured, and I was expressing it with my thumb. It went all the way through.
Wow.
And then out comes a bunch of like Pepto-Bismol colored stuff. And so I irrigated it. I cleaned it up pretty nice. Put duct tape over it so the dogs wouldn't feed from there. And left it. And then the next day I noticed, I forgot the name for it, but Lucas's eye was swollen. He had one swollen eye. And I'm like, oh no, that's infection. And I kind of looked at it and I'm like, I don't know if I can open it. So I go to a YouTube video, figure it out. And I'm like, all right, I see what they do. You got to get the eye open with a warm compress. So I did a warm compress and I finally got it open after like half an hour of trying gently and slowly. I'd stop for a minute and try again, re-warm up my warm compress. And I got the eye open, flushed it out, a little bit of Neosporin, and put the pup back. And then its eye opened and it was looking good, but it was like blue. Mm-hmm. So it was like clear blue. So he doesn't have any vision in that eye. He later, when he went to Fernando, got one eye infection at like 4 months old. And the vet's like, hey, we need to take that eye out because it's just going to get infected again. And I told Fernando, well, maybe it will get infected again, or maybe it won't. But maybe wait till next time it gets infected to remove the eye. And, it's been over 3 years since that infection. So he still has the eye there, but it's not no vision. It's not completely, I don't know, you could say like foreign, but there's an eyeball in there. It's just his eye sags a little bit closed.
Nonetheless, he's still a phenomenal, well put together dog.
No. And you know what? This is for the audience out there that might question if it's genetics or not. No, this was trauma. So don't think it's
It was an infection. Yeah, it was an infection, and could have died from that infection. Could have lost the eyeball completely, but just lost some vision. That was all. And after that, the litter following that, I had another pup with the same eye condition, but it wasn't due to mastitis. I don't know what it was due to, but I opened that eye right away the first day I saw that. and came out fine, came out good.
Oh, that's good. I know a lot of things happen, man, when you're whelping. You're a doctor at the same time. You're
Yeah.
man, you're everything.
Oh,
That's the
Yeah,
stuff nobody likes to talk about,
yeah,
right?
and it
It's
happens
tough.
more than And that
I've
quick
Yeah,
had
thinking and YouTube, right? And calling people and
yeah.
questions. You got to
yeah,
figure it out. Sometimes you don't have, the time or the money. Hey, I could go there an hour one way, figure it out so they could maybe tell me, and it might not work. You don't got that much time sometimes. You just got to, be quick and figure it out.
yep.
Yeah, I've had times where I'm up until 4 in the morning, like making my little homemade incubator, keeping the puppy warm, tube feeding, trying to get its blood sugar up, and then it still, dies on me after, a night of not
Yeah,
sleeping. And the younger they are, the harder it is. When
Yes.
when
Yeah.
they're
yeah.
under like 10, 8 days old, it's pretty hard. After that, it's a little more rare that we lose pups, but it's something where you take the time, you watch a million YouTube videos to try and figure it out, and the next time you get ahead of those issues or specific issues, whatever it could be. It could be a skin condition in the whelping box. It could be. I've even had pups where they get all stiff, like they're rigor mortis, like they have rigor mortis, like they're about to die, and then they get like soft again. I've heard that has to do with like blood sugar. There's just tons of things, temperature. So
Yeah. I would say outside of all things that we go through with our dogs, the most nerve wracking, the one that you're on high alert, stressed out, is when you're walking the litter. There's so much that can go on, so much going go wrong. There's so much going on in your life that you're trying to handle and make sure you're giving the great care to your puppies. And then there's some things you just don't know, like, oh man, you go into freak mode. And you just start reaching out to all your homies. You don't really want to call a vet because the vet's going to rob you out of your pocket. And then it can be something that's real simple.
No,
yeah,
definitely. That's why, you
Yeah.
know what, guys, I invested, it was like $1,500 on a incubator, and it's not because the dogs needed it, but just in emergencies, I just wanted to be prepared. And the incubator I bought, it's literally the vets have it at their office because I bought it from a vet.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
nice.
yeah,
Do you
so
use it for all your? You use it just the Frenchies, or you use it for the
well,
AV?
mainly I was using it for the Frenchies, because those dogs are delicate, and we had
We don't get that delicate love.
yeah. No, but I feel that the Americans, they were able to hold it down. But I had issues
Yeah,
here and there where, I have moms that, man, they're just horrible moms, and I gotta take puppies away from her, and I need a place to put them, and the incubator was the safest way to keep them warm. And when they were ready to eat, I'll take them out of there, give them to mom. But mom, I had to be there supervising because if not, she'll want to lay on top of them. They cry, and she freaks out, and she's like, oh, I just gonna lay on top of them. And so that's why that incubator came in handy. But you know it's there for more resources in case you have really emergency where you need the incubator for oxygen or whatever it is. There it is.
well, I want to get back to the Gam, not Gam, but Martine. So, what's the dog that was just on the screen? What's his name? Luca?
Here, hold on.
Lucas, the white
Lucas,
one?
the white one.
Yeah.
the
So,
white one with
yeah.
no eye. That's Lucas.
So, is this is a Batman belly brother?
Yeah.
So, would you be taking him back to? I can't say it. I'm not even gonna try to.
Sombra.
Batman daughter.
Sombra, I have some other plans with Sombra, but eventually I would like to take Sombra to her uncle Lucas. It is. I have Toy Story also. Like in I would like to try Canelo first, and then Toy Story second, and then possibly Lucas third, depending. I actually wanted to keep Lucas on a separate line, but when the time comes, if that's the best matching, then that's what we're gonna do. But one thing I want to do, what's it called? A reoccurring breeding, like a breeding scheme where I would take Toy Story and Canelo to Sombra, and then in the next heat, take another one, and then one of Sombra's offsprings back to her. And, son to mother with Sombra, and having the males be the donor males, like, just use them one time and then go with the sons. I don't know if I'm explaining that as well. I feel like I took too long to explain that.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I'm with you. I follow.
Yeah. And
Would you
for
mind
the
audience,
for
the audience, they may not.
these type of inbreedings, it's not something that you just want to grab and start doing right away, especially if you don't know what you're going to get. I've done plenty of breedings and test breedings, half sibling breedings, uncle to niece breedings with my family of dogs. I've had these same dogs since 2012, and even the black dog I got was half of the blood I was already used to. And whenever you do something with high reward like inbreedings, you're going to get high risk. So if you're not ready to put down puppies, pet home puppies, or just completely waste your time and break your heart, don't do inbreedings like that. Because it all comes back to the breeder, good or bad.
Yeah, no, definitely. We do have Toy Story Martin up on the screen, just so you know. I know you guys were talking about them, so I did bring them up so they could see. I think your daughter's holding them on the
yeah. So that's Toy Story. He's off of Lucas and Puma. Puma and Lucas are half siblings, same mother. And Puma's off of Peso.
Okay. And I don't know if you want to talk about.
You said Puma's off Peso?
Yeah, the black female. So Toy Story would be a Peso grandson.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I know this dog, Toy Story Martin. There was a point where you were trying to get rid of him, right?
Yeah. So I did the breeding. I got 8 pups, and I was looking for. I think I was looking for a male specifically in that breeding, and I did the breeding for size because Puma is about 100-pound female, and Lucas is about 118 pounds. So I'm like, cool, I'm doing this breeding for size and for type. And obviously I'm keeping color in mind because I just like color. I would rather go to a color I like, but I'm not going to be completely closed-minded because if there's something nice, I would keep it too.
Yeah.
My customer really wanted the all-white dog that was probably one of the nicest, so I was like, I'll pick between 2 black dogs and a chocolate dog. And I even made a video showing all the puppies and stuff. And I told people, hey, pick one of these 3 pups. Whatever you guys don't get, I'll keep because they're all pretty nice. I ended up keeping the chocolate one. I sold the black ones. And probably 4.5 months, I'm like, man, I should have kept one of the black dogs. This dog is goofy. Like, the best part about Toy Story when he was younger is his ears were like the same uniform. Like, he had nice ears. Like, I like the way his ears sit on his head. They helped a lot because they helped his head give it more like shape. It's like that right haircut on a person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And his body was huge and his head was tiny and like wedge shaped. And I said, all right, I'm just going to tell people $500, see if they'll take them. Like, I was just like, and that was the time I started thinning out dogs, because the best way to make your dogs look better in your yard, to make your yard look better, is to get rid of the bottom dogs of your yard. So, but no one took them. And then about 9 months, he started changing. He started looking good. And I had a person who was going to buy him off me. And we set a date for the sale. And the day before that sale, I called him. I'm like, hey, I'm taking him to the vet to get everything checked out for you. Send me a deposit so I don't have to float my own money for the vet.
Yeah.
And so I asked for another deposit, and I never got that deposit, so I kept him. And I'm glad I kept him because he's just slow to mature, man. I'm not used to it. It's tough when you have puppies that aren't fat, aren't cute. I mean, he looked like a miniature Great Dane, when he was a pup. So.
No, and that's what I say to the audience out there and people that some of these bloods of the American Bulldog, they develop slower than others. But when they develop, man, you'll see that change.
And if you want to hear it from a lot of people, oldie breeders who do F1 breedings, they'll tell you right away. No one wants the AB style pups when they're small. They want them when they're older. I hear that from some.
And I think that varies differently because it just depends on what AB and older you use.
Yeah.
Because my puppies were not small. Because I did that after breeding. They weren't small at all.
No.
Nah, because Tookie just hit a year. He's 92 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they weren't small. They were nice size, big bone. I think the AB line worked out really well. And plus, I used a heavy line bred oldie from bodybuilding. So that locking up, and it was Typhoon bodybuilder who was owned by Leatherneck Bulls, and he was a massive size oldie, and kind of like English in type, but he was an oldie. Bred to Pelosi, Ellis American Bulldogs that has a lot of the Guard Bulls and the KLS Knox in it. Locked a lot of genetics into every puppy. And Tookie and his brother Knox were those two that I could differentiate from whichever I want to keep. So I have Knox actually at a Guardian at home. Massive dog. Real beautiful.
Yeah. So when they were pups, were there different in pups as far as like, oh, this one's super fat and cute and this one's a little taller? Did they have ugly stages?
Did they all look more English when they were pups?
No,
like more oldie.
They look more AB now.
No. When they were puppies.
No,
when they were puppies. When they were puppies.
No, they didn't look English. They were not fat. There was no fat. They all look good. They all look really good, marking wise and everything.
So if you were to show a picture, what would people say it looks like? An oldie or AB?
It depends. You would have to look at whichever one. They all look more. Tookie looked AB. Pelosi, I mean not Pelosi, but Nas looked AB. But Monroe and Wolfina, straight oldie.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of mixed in the litter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that's what we were trying to.
Yeah, I had a little mix in between,
but now you could call them whatever you want now.
Oh, they're F1 oldie.
Call them. Just make something up.
F1
Don't
oldie.
matter.
They have a foundation to the African Bulldog.
Say it's a bulldog.
Just call it a Bulldog.
That's it.
So
I see where you're going. It's just a Bulldog.
So this was when they were young, right, Ernest?
That one at the top left has nothing to do with it.
Okay, but the one on the right here.
So the one at the top right, that's Monroe. The one on the bottom left is Wolfina.
Wolfina?
Yeah, Wolfina.
Who has that one?
Me.
Oh, okay. You kept a girl and a boy, or you just kept?
I have two females, one male.
Oh, okay.
I'm Monroe, Wolfina, and Tookie. I'll send you a puppy picture of Tookie so you can put that up there so you can see like the difference in him compared to them. He was just
Martin, so after all these years of breeding, have you taken a different approach on how you see your breeding methods, or how you could kind of say locking that consistency that you're looking for? Because that I know that consistency that you want is that Batman look, right?
Yeah. So I can tell you something for sure. Before I was looking for a big American Bulldog. That's what I wanted, a big, impressive American Bulldog. Now, it doesn't have to be 120 pounds. 105 to 110 is perfectly fine, still impressive. I would go for features, go for stuff, but now it's like I realize how inconsistent our breed is. Our breed is a composite breed still, the American Bulldog. It's not like breeding two Rottweilers. You go and buy a Rottweiler from the newspaper registered, and then you go to a UKC show, you find a male Rottweiler and you stud to it, you're gonna get all Rottweilers in the litter. It's gonna be cool. But with the American Bulldog, you could get a nice female, you buy her as an adult, and you find a nice male stud. And now the challenge comes, picking a keeper. It's hard. And here's what we need to realize. We look at our dogs, we see our dogs in front of us, we look at the pedigree. So many pedigrees, yeah, you got like a nice male and an okay female on the bottom. And then the grandparents, half of them are what you want. And the great grandparents, only like a quarter of them are what you want. I would really like to see a pedigree where the dog in front of me is what I want. The parents are exactly, have the look and behavior that I want. And then at least 3 of the 4 are grandparents, you know? And it's tough because you got a breeder here and they're breeding for this. And then someone else buys a pup and then they're breeding for, maybe it's their first time ever breeding and they're trying, but they're not breeding for the same thing. And then they sell pups. And then another person is just like, it changes hands too many times with different goals. And then you end up with a dog and now you're trying to do something. And, you know, if you go to a breeder who have had their dogs for generation after generation and they're after the same thing, that's kind of where you got to be at.
Yeah.
That's that saying, you know, we all live in the same building, but we all got different views. Like, it's so hard, like what you were saying, you know, so many dogs be consistent of type and the pedigree. That's one thing, because, like, you know, back in the day, you know, people bred like that. You had a lot of dogs. But as time has come to what it is, you know, like you said, you know, everyone has like a different goal or something they're breeding for and going to.
No, definitely. That's why and I agree with you, Morning. There's a lot of diversity out there, and kind of to simplify it, you know, easier way is, you know, you have a bowl of Skittles, grab a full hand of that, you have all colors in your hand. You don't have that consistency to be uniform, you know.
Yeah. You know, so it's tough. You gotta go through it and do some work. And I mean, there's slower ways to do things with less risk, and there's faster way to do things that sometimes can have more risk. Like there's tons of things you could do to mitigate risk. You got your DNA tests, heavy research, and some of the good stuff you can't find the research with, but it can be tough. And then right now I've noticed most of the breeders in the American Bulldog are home breeders, people that are breeding their pets. So if they buy a female, they'll breed their female, keep one female out of their breedings, and then when the mother female is retired, they'll breed the daughter, and then they retire the daughter, and they're done. Yeah. They're done until one of their pets dies, and then maybe they'll get another one. But it's an average of an 8-year career, and then there's usually a break, and then maybe they come back depending on where their life is. But you know, most of the people selling puppies aren't someone with an acre or a big fenced-in yard where they can have kennels set up with concrete. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, and it is hard. That's why, like I said, I don't have a big property as well. I do have kennels and stuff, but you know what's worked for me right now is I've put a lot of dogs that I want to use and have potential in guardian homes, you know, and I have access to them. So, you know, I give them the dog, but when it comes to breeding or anything, I'm in charge of the dog. You know, they don't breed it, they don't do anything. So they call me when they're like, hey, the dog is in heat, or, you know, and I'm like, okay, cool. So then I start matching dogs to, you know, where my vision it wants to go. So
that's great. That's a good way to do it. And like me, I'm on 3 acres. I have 20 by 20 kennels, you know, big little yards. And I only have 5 dogs in my program at home right now. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll get up to like 12 dogs and then I'll cut it back down. It's rare when I say, oh my gosh, all these dogs are great, I can't cut it lower than 9. Like, nah. Someone could always get cut. There's always a hierarchy. There's always a I like to use the example of the bell curve. You know, everyone at the back end of the bell curve is getting cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think depend on like situations or life or things happen, right? And then like, hey, these dogs are all good enough. And then you have maybe the dogs beefing it with each other, and you're like, all right, if it's gonna be any one of you two, then I'm gonna get rid of this one, right? Um, then you really see the value. We have five right now, and it's tough. I don't think I've ever had more than five, but we got a good little setup, and we make it
Yeah.
work. So
That's the important how you live with them, how you set everything up so everything is easier. Because a bad setup, and I've had a bad setup before. I've had bad setups where half of my dog chores are fighting rain. It's like, hey, we got to do this, we got to retie this, we got to put this back, we got to redo this and that. I'm like, nah. Your setup is a big difference where it's really low maintenance and easy to deal with. You know, I always thought this breed was an easy breed. I'm like, this breed's cool. This is a beginner breed. Google won't tell you that. Google will tell you this breed for experienced people.
Yeah.
And then I talked to some of my customers. It's like, how do I get my dog to stop doing this? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, he keeps chewing up my shoes. I'm like, don't leave your shoes out. How do you keep your dog? Well, when I go to work, I leave my 9-month-old puppy in the living room.
yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah, that's
no, that's not.
any dog will destroy your house if you leave them
Yeah.
loose like that. Yeah.
You got to crate train, do outdoor kennels, do outdoor yards, whatever you do. I mean, you have to. The dog doesn't only have to adapt to your life. You have to adapt to having a dog. So I mean, if there's shoes out and you're not there, like you have to supervise. I mean, dogs, even a 1-year-old dog, 2-year-old dog will hop up on the counter and eat your raw chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's left alone long enough. People go to work, and they're like, I don't know what happened. I was only gone 9-10 hours. And my house is destroyed. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Well,
You
what you
know,
expect? Yeah.
yeah, what did you think was gonna happen? But yeah, crate train anybody out there, crate train your dogs, crate train your puppies, crate train. I mean, I'm a firm believer. I think it's the best thing ever. The dogs like it, but it's good for them. They shouldn't be unsupervised for that long. It's safer for them. Um, then I've seen people house burn down or they fill it up with water because their dogs, turn the water hose on or they were trying to get something on the counter and they sparked the stove.
Yeah.
Like, we got to keep them safe too. But crate training is probably the best thing, and we've done that in the last, maybe 4-5 years. And it's helped us out a lot.
Dog proofing your backyard. If you have like sand or loose soil where they can dig from under the fence and leave, or some of those chain link kennels you can get from the big box stores, those 10x10 with the 6-foot tall panels. Some of them are only have the chain link tied to the tube frame with like these aluminum twist ties that you can twist with your hands and your fingers. And a dog, if they work at that, they'll get through it.
They'll manage it. Yeah.
Steel ties, some steel wire, and reinforce those all through the bottom. A bunch of little things, you'll figure it out. Me, I've had dogs long enough that I could look at that and be like, that gate's going to be an issue. That chain link's not going to. I mean, on my chain link, it's 2 inches into concrete, so they're not getting through.
They're not
through
going to.
it.
Yeah.
So.
That's
Yeah,
good.
and especially if they want something, or when the dogs come in the heat, then that's another story. Something that maybe you didn't think was an issue, and that's from experience, right? You can look at the backyard and be like, hey, this is not going to work for these 2 dogs you just got.
Yeah. I had Batman have a heat stroke because I left him in a dog kennel with a female to breed. I'm like, I'm gonna see if they'll tie up.
Yeah.
And I threw Batman in there, and I went to go do my chores, scrubbing water buckets and food bowls. And I came back and he was tied up. All right, tied to the female. I went down there and I'm like, oh man, this dude's having a heat stroke. So
Yeah.
I cooled him down and it was good. But that's just things that like I was used to doing AIs and it was summertime. So, it's just lack of experience on certain situations.
Yeah, those guys won't stop, man. They'll just keep going and going, and
They're determined.
They're determined, and we had some experience with that. Dogs are climbing under walls. I'm like, how the hell? I thought we were good. And they made it to the other side of the fence in the kennel, and I hear all the dogs together. I'm like, what's going on? They won't stop. They won't sleep. They'll stay up. So that's important to know too. I think most people don't know that, and they do, and they have a female, and then they come home from work, and their male dog's dead or almost dying because of that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we didn't think anything, and that guy went 8 hours just following her around, and it's 110 degrees outside.
Yeah, and then with unexperienced dog owners too, like I gotta let them know, like, if your female's in heat, she might get tied. So these accidental breedings, I've heard people say, "Oh, I let the female out, and if the male tried to hump her, then I would put him away again." Well, you let them out, and they run as fast as they can, 50 yards away from you.
Yeah.
And by the time you're halfway there, it's done.
Yeah, and it's way, that's just too fast.
Yeah.
And I think people, I don't know that everybody knows that. They know puppies, but I don't know if they actually know, like, it's natural, right? I think they think like, oh, breeders, so you get your dogs, and there's some of that, but it's natural. It's gonna happen with or without. There's no, then they won't take those precautions. Like, well, I'm not breeding my dogs, and I'm like, well, she's in heat, and he's a male.
Like, where I'm at with it, I can't agree with that. Like, I understand people say common sense ain't too common, but come on, man. How do you think we make kids? It's a natural time with us. Like, you think lions and animals, like lions in the wild and stuff, like, you think they need a breeder to do it? Nah. So it's just like you're just not having the common sense to really, like, yo, my two dogs are in heat, I let them outside and they tied. No, man, I can't buy that.
And you know what? This is kind of to be awareness to customers or even people that are just pet owners and they say they have this accidental breeding. When males are focusing just on the female, they don't care about nothing else. They just want that female. So you guys, sometimes these pet owners or they go and try to grab their dog, like, oh, stop, don't do it, and they growl. They're not trying to bite you. It's just they're focused on one thing right now, and that's all they want to do. So there's been, I know a story about that this lady bought a dog, and she had a female dog, and she came in heat, and the dog, her male dog, was not listening to her because the dog was well behaved. He took him to school and all this stuff and had obedient classes. But when it came to that dog didn't care. And he growled and she thought that the dog was trying to bite her. And I was like, no, he's just focused on one thing and that's what he's trying to go after. So,
A lot of hormones.
Yep.
Or when they're sick, when you got a dog that's sick and he growls at you, it's because he's not feeling well,
Exactly.
But I tell people, reproducing and eating, like, how fast could you stop your dog from eating a steak? That's how fast you got to be to get them to not breed, It's going to happen quick. The dog's going to steal your plate of food if you leave it,
So Martin, let me ask you this, and with the genetics that you've been working with your dogs, do you feel that you're moving into like the right direction, or do you wish that maybe down the path you could have changed something and have different genetic diversity in there?
No, I think I have everything I need. Okay. So as far as like an outcross, I don't need an outcross. I like to outcross when I need something. Like if there's something I don't have in my yard or I can't get from my blood, then I will outcross. It could be size. I need size. I need color. I need temperament. So I can work with the stuff. The only thing I could foresee in the future is if I start getting low fertility from being closed off to other genetics for too long. But I mean, within your own line, you could also breed for fertility. It takes a little longer because you're juggling more things at once, but I foresee the highest possibilities of me needing new genetics or an outcross is if I need something for like fertility or size. When you start getting inbreeding depression, that's the first thing that goes. pups aren't as vigorous when they're eating and where you're trying to wean them off mom, that's when you can kind of see, if you take a video of you weaning some pups and then you have inbreeding depression, it takes a little longer than what people think it is, but that's what I think. And I just need to just keep breeding in the direction I'm breeding. I will get there. Now, I've said this in public and I'll say it again. If in about 7 years I'm not where I want to be, if I don't have 5 kennels filled up with high caliber dogs like Batmans and Lucas and Sombras, then I'm done. I won't. It's been a good long time, but I see some people out there and I'm going to copy what they're doing. They buy super nice 1 or 2 year old dogs for, $8,000 to $10,000. And then they do that every 6-7 years. And I'd be cheaper for me to do that than to breed. I'm not going to lie. It'd be cheaper to just buy.
It would be cheaper
to just buy logic over and over than to try and produce them.
Yeah.
That is true.
But yeah, I think I got it. For right now, I don't think I need to get anything. I just need to make the right selection of puppies, which is probably the most important thing in 90% of breeding programs, is selecting the right puppy.
So as of right now, are you trying to create I don't know, 3 lines of families of dogs, or?
No, I think I'm only trying to create 2 right now.
Okay.
And then, once I have one established, then by proxy I'll have the other one almost done, and then I'll try on 3. I think it's tough to have a line of dogs. In my opinion, you need a few members of that family to have a whole entire family. For me, it'd be difficult to only call 3 dogs a family of dogs. I mean, I could have 9 of them and call that one line of dogs, and then move 6 of those out of my yard, and then the 3 I have, then those could be a line of dogs. But I think it's hard to maintain a line with only 3 dogs.
Yeah, no, you're right, and you do need outsources. You need a group of people that can help you out, and
Definitely.
like you say,
And we need our second line and our third line. But if you have 3 lines of dogs, you could probably theoretically you can maintain a breeding program forever without ever having to go outside of your own yard. But I'm not sure how many individual dogs per line you would need. It could be 20 dogs per line, and I'm not going to have 60 dogs.
Yeah.
There's still programs in the United States. Most of them are around Mississippi, Arkansas, Kansas, that have breeding programs. Ohio, there's dog breeding programs.
A lot of masses in Ohio.
Yeah, a lot of programs out there when you're over 20, 25 dogs. And a lot of those programs move much faster than programs that are 15 and under, which I can't be over 15, and then I have laws in my area that allow you a certain amount, and then if you want more, then you got to get kennel licensing, and then it's you're investing another 50 to 100 grand to do things correctly.
Yeah. I see. That's why I say that a lot of the guardian homes play.
Yeah.
And that. Yep.